Hi, this is James Gordon Octorli here with the sixth book in the James Bond series. The book I'll be talking about today, Dr. No. This book was first published by Jonathan Cape on March 31st, 1958. This edition is from Triad Panther and was originally published in 1978. This was a really disappointing novel in this series. I felt this is definitely one of Ian Fleming's weaker books in the series. It suffers the same problem I had with From Russia with Love. Like, it gets off to a really good start, but then towards the second and third act is where it just loses momentum and it just becomes like really boring. And the finale was absolutely huge letdown. Like, I felt even Fleming could have done so much better with this book, but he just like fails to deliver like something grand, deliver a grand finale for James Bond to go up against the main villain, Dr. No, and the story and a whole bunch of other things. I did not like this book at all, and I was really bored with this book. I actually finished it last night because I was just getting so bored with it. I just wanted to be done with it, and I did not enjoy this book at all. I was really disappointed with it. I thought this could have been so much better. Luckily, the movie is a lot better, but I'll touch upon that later on my review. Yeah, so hoping that the later books get better because this one is an absolute dud in the series. Alright, on to the book review. Plot. In Jamaica, head of MI6 Station J in Kingston, Commander John Strangeways and his secretary, Mary Trueblood, are assassinated by three killers disguised as blind men. They break into the office, steal a safe full of files, then set the place on fire before making their escape in a black hearse. When M gets a report that neither Strangeways or Trueblood has not reported back, he fears something has happened to them and needs to find out what's going on. James Bond reports to M's office after recovering from his near-death experience from being poisoned by SMERSH agent Rosa Coop with her hidden shoe blade. M asks how James is feeling, and he replies he's glad to be out of the hospital and has spent most of his time getting back in shape and sharpening his skills, admitting he made a mistake of letting Rosa get too close to him and won't allow it to happen again. Before giving James his new assignment, M calls in the armorer to come into his office. M forces James to surrender his 25 caliber Beretta pistol, stating and jammed on his last job, and it nearly cost him his life, and several other agents have been killed using the same gun, as it's time to give him a new and better sidearm. The armorer tells James he has tried out different handguns and has picked the best one. The Walter PPK, chambered for 32 ACP, as it holds more ammo, a short yet effective silencer that's easy to attach and remove, along with a holster that allows quick draws. Against his wishes and feeling anger towards him for nearly getting killed, James takes the Walter PPK with the armor leaving and gets to the mission briefing. He lost contact with Strangeways along with Trueblood, as he thinks that they might have ran off together, wants to be sure, as this is very unusual. He wants James to go to Kingston to investigate, as there isn't much to go on. However, M also reveals a file that Strange reported on roseate spoonbill birds on the island Crab Key, stating they were endangered and want a no-fly zone over the island. Also, two representatives from the American National Aurora Society were also killed in a plane crash on the island. Crab Key is owned by a German-Chinese scientist, Dr. Julius No, as very little is known about him. However, his island is off limits to visitors, and rumors from locals that a dragon breathes fire on anyone who trespasses on Crab Key. He might have something to do with the disappearance of Strangeways and Trueblood, but needs James to confirm it. Taking the files as James tries to sneak out with his Beretta, but M orders him to leave it on his desk. Annoyed, James places his old gun on his desk and leaves to catch his flight to Jamaica. Stepping off the Super Constellation once it touches down, James is greeted by Coral, who's been assigned to help him. However, before leaving the airport, a pretty Chinese woman with a camera snaps a picture of James and knows him. Despite her friendly face, James is suspicious of her. James and Coral get into a black Sunbeat Alpine and drive to the hotel. On their way there, James notices a car falling with its headlights dimmed. He orders Coral to pull off the road and kill the lights. He does this as a few moments later an empty taxi speeds by. James has Coral take a different route to avoid being followed again. However, while he and Coral are at the bar, the Chinese girl appears, taking another picture of Bond. They grab her and take her camera away, demanding to know who she is and who wants pictures of Jane. She refuses to she refuses to tell, swears at them, and smashes a glass over Jane's head and flees. The next day, James and Quarles see what information he can dig up on Dr.No. Meanwhile, James visits the governor of Kingston while posing as a friend of Strangeways, wanting to know what happened to him and his investigation of Crab Key. While the governor doesn't have any Strangeways files, but tells him that Dr.No runs a Guna mining operation and explains that the birds living on the island produce a lot of Guma, making it very valuable. James believes that Dr.No is behind the deaths of Station J agents and plans to sneak onto Crab Key to find the answers he's looking for. But as he returns to his hotel room, he finds scratch marks on the locks, a fruit basket that wasn't sent by the governor, and further investigation reveals that all the fruit is poisoned. Then James awakens in the middle of the night to find a large centipede crawling on him. After getting it off, James kills it with his shoe. The following day, James and Coral take the gear they'll need and set sail for Crab Key. Reaching the tropical island, both James and Coral hide their boat and find a place to rest. The following morning, James discovers a beautiful woman lying half naked, has a belt with a knife holster, and a collection of seashells beside her. Honey Chill Rider, or as her friends call her, Honey. She tells James she finds rare seashells sell, while James lies that he's here looking for roseate spoonbills. Quirrell thinks they should ditch her as she might blow their cover. However, James is against this. Then a track vehicle appears with a gunner on top, loudspeakers telling the intruders to come out or they'll be killed. James, Quirrell, and Honey take cover as a heavy machine gun goes off with bullets zooming above their heads. The loudspeakers warn they'll be back with dogs if they don't surrender. Quirrell thinks they should leave, but James wants to find out what Dr.No is really up to. Honey finds her boat damaged and hear the track vehicle coming again, followed by armed guards with dogs. They flee into the jungle where James is discovered by a guard as he kills him, then run onto the other side of the island. While setting up camp, James and Honey get to know each other a bit more until the dragon appears, a swamp buggy that's been made to look like a fire-breathing dragon. Both James and Quirrell try shooting at the dragon with their guns, but Quirrell is killed when he is burned to death. James and Honey are forced to surrender to Dr.No's men. They are taken inside a base hidden within the mountains and locked up in a fancy room. The following morning, they are taken to see Dr.No. He is much taller than James, small dark eyes, short dark hair, a smooth face with no signs of age, and both of his hands are metal claws. While eating dinner, Dr.No explains how he started off as a criminal for the Chinese Tan, as he enjoyed killing and torturing people. He was then sent to New York, where he continued to work for the Tans until he tries stealing money from their treasury. When he tried to flee the city, he was captured and beaten to death. Refusing to tell the Tans where the money was kept, they chop off his hands and shot him in the chest. However, Dr.No survived, as his heart is on the right side of his chest. After relocating to Crab Key, he builds a secret base with the money he stole, along with conducting cruel experiments on people. Dr.No also tells James he's working with the Russians to help them sabotage U.S. test missile sites. After dinner, Dr.No forces James into his obstacle course constructed within the facility to see if James Bond can make it out alive, as he plans to kill off Honey by feeding her to the crabs. Struggling to stay alive as James refuses to let Dr.No succeed and must stop his master plan, rescue Honey, and escape the island. Dr.No was a weak fur. Like the armor said at the beginning of the novel, not enough oomph to it. Found the plot not that engaging as it gets off to an interesting start but begins to lose its momentum during the second act. By the third and final act is when it really gets boring. I wish Ian focused more on the action and less talking, as James and Honey talk a bit too much in it. Despite the intense scenes of James Bond trying to escape through the maze of traps and nearly getting burned along with having to fight a giant squid was good, but Ian doesn't add more action nor deliver a bigger finale as James easily kills Dr.No. While I enjoyed the scenes of the tropical island of Crab Key, but felt Ian was not adding more rich detail within the story, making it feel dull at times. I was also disappointed that we don't get to see James use his new sidearm, the Walter PPK, as it only appears a few times early on before it's taken away towards the end of the novel. Not much else happens within this novel, and was getting tired of Ian repeating these half-black, half-Chinese men throughout the story, as I felt this was not really being creative, and didn't like the fact they talked like cartoon characters. I was also annoyed by the censoring of swear words within the novel. It just made it worse. I seriously wish Ian Fleming put more thought into the plot and improved later act by adding more action, cutting out these half-mixed breeds of people, and just make them generic henchmen. Having James Bond use his new sidearm more and fleshing out the characters to make them better and having a bigger grand finale. As for the 1962 film of Dr. No with Sean Connery, it's a lot better than the novel it's loosely based on. However, I did wish it had the part of James Bond having to fight a giant squid, as that would have been interesting to see. Overall, I don't recommend Dr. No. It's one of the weaker novels in the series, as I felt it could have been so much better. Just watch the film, it packs a bigger punch than the novel does. And that's our review today. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I did not enjoy Dr. No at all. Like, the beginning part gets off to a really good start, and then the whole scene where M makes James Bond surrender his old gun for the new gun that he eventually going to use, that I really enjoyed. When he gets to the island, and he gets to Jamaica, and then the Dr. No is already aware that he's already on his way, and I like that part of the story. But the moment they get to the island is where I feel it loses its momentum completely. Like, it gets boring. It's not really engaging. I felt that the character there was too much character dialogue in this story, just too much talking in it. I felt, okay, less talking, more action. That's what I want to see. Um, as I said, I was really getting tired of like having to read these like mixed breed of humans in the story. Like, I don't know why Ian Fleming kept on doing this. It's like, can you please just have the bad guys just generic henchmen? Why you gotta make them these like strange breeds? Like, it's I really didn't like that. I also felt that characters were really not that well fleshed out. Like, well, Coral was all right. However, Honey, I really didn't like her character. Doctor No, I felt could have been so much better, and I felt I felt the plot was really weak. Like, when he reveals his like what he's doing, that's he's not really has like a master plan that's gonna, like, rule domination or do something that's gonna cause a death toll or something. It's just he reveals, like, I'm just doing this on the island and that's it. And it's like, really, Ian, this is the best you got? And I just really felt the finale could have been so much better. Like, I thought, come on, you got a evil scientist living on a tropical island, and you're not gonna have reveal he's got this like master plan that's gonna cause like a like a terrorist plot or something against, like, United States government or some other country or something. Nope, he's just a mad scientist that just gets a kick out of like killing and torturing people, and oh, he's helping the Russians out. That's it. And I thought, come on, this could have been so much better. Um, oh yeah, this is another. Uh, And as I said, you don't get to see James Bond use much of his new sidearm. Like, it only makes an appearance throughout the first half of the book, and then towards the end, it just disappears. And James Bond's still going on saying how much he'd rather have his like small Beretta back. I thought, come on, you got a better gun. And in the film, like, yes, James Bond's annoyed that he has to surrender his old gun. It isn't sure about this new one, but after he uses it a bit, it really begins to he actually appreciates it. It's like, yeah, I actually like this gun a lot better, actually. So I wish there was more of that. Yeah, I was really disappointed with this book. I felt it could have been so much better, and I actually thought it would have been a better name. I thought, instead of Doctor No, why not like Doctor Claw, or the the Island of Doctor Claw? Like, that would have been like a way cooler name. Like, just that would have been better. What's actually interesting was that uh, originally, in the last book, for Rush of Love, Ian Fleming almost considered killing off James Bond, as he didn't have any ideas, so he decided to kill off the character. But um, however, he left the ending open-ended in case he decided to do another book, which I read. Apparently, he was working on some like some crime series in Jamaica, and it didn't go anywhere. So he just took the ideas that were not used for this failed TV show and put it into his novel. And the fans, of course, wanted James Bond to come back, of course. And was also told by a friend of his that he should really give James Bond a better gun, and he decided to do that. And his friend suggested giving him the Walter BK. I just wish we got to see James Bond actually use his new gun. Like, he ends up using mostly his 38 Colt revolver. I thought, come on, let's see the new gun in action. So I was really just overall disappointed with this book. I there was nothing I really liked about it. Uh, However, though the film, the same name with Sean Connery, is a lot better. Like that, they took the plot of the book and made it a lot better. Had it where Dr. No is actually is plotting something against the world and stuff, and they added the fact that he's working well, in the film series it's called Spectre, not Smersh, but I felt they improved the story in the film a lot better, and seeing James Bond actually use his gun was definitely an improvement in the film as well. So the film is a lot better than the novel it's based on. So I recommend checking out Dr. No, the film. Just don't bother the book. All right, that's it for the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. And for the next book in the James Bond series, Goldfinger. Um, I'm hoping this book will be a lot better than the movie of the same. This is one of the Sean Connery films I do not like. All right, that's for the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group of the same name. And please watch a review of fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.